When you just look at social media in general, you might wonder, who are these people that, feel the urge to share their food habits or their daily life habits? Oh, I just went to school, or I just got to work, or it's raining today, right? I know that it's raining today. I can see outside the window, so why do you have to share that? But then the insight is actually that a lot of these sort of useless bits of information, to many people actually contain valuable information when it comes just to daily life routines of people. So in particular, things related to their health and more specifically their food consumption. And a lot of that information is shared in the form of pictures, in particular on Instagram.
For humans, the information is very obvious. You see a picture and you recognize what it is. You see somebody eating a burger at a restaurant. But an artificial system that is trying to exploit all the information that is being shared in the social media, that information is hidden because it cannot sense the content of the picture like a human does. So most of the systems that are deployed in the internet are blind. They know how to read, but they don't know how to see. So our goal is to teach computers to see just like humans do.
10 years ago, maybe even 5 or 6 years ago, people would have thought, no, what you're trying, that's impossible. You will never ever be able to teach a machine to really understand the scene, the type of person, the type of food in the image. But over the last couple of years, that has become possible. It's still at the very forefront of where science is, so there's still more effort to be done. In particular, food is very challenging to analyze, but that's why it's also interesting for us.
Because food comes in many different shapes. Faces, they always come in the same shape. 2 eyes, 1 mouth, same configuration. Food, pasta can have many different shapes. You can have spaghetti and it will have many different forms. And you are going to see configurations that you have never seen before. Our goal is to recognize all those different shapes and all those different forms and extract the fact that all that is pasta. Once we have a system that is able to see the content of pictures, we will be able to extract from these images all the information that tell us about the health habits of a particular population.
And so in this project, we're trying to mine and analyze this information to understand things about health habits of a country, basically. We would sort of like to understand, what can we learn about the health of Qatar, as an example, as a concrete, use case of our technique, by looking at images shared on social media. So the technology that we're developing really tries to understand what an image depicts.
If images contain people eating burgers at a restaurant and we want to extract that information, we provide to the system with lots of examples of people eating burgers, lots of images of restaurants, and we teach the system to do that association.
Some of the difficulties relate to the nature of the images being shared on social media. They're very unconstrained. Some people would take a close-up just of a particular food or the whole scene or the actual restaurant or just only their friends. So if you, for example, search on Instagram now for images labeled as a burger, so there are all types of images unimaginable. They are not just close-ups of burgers, there are even sandwiches that are not burgers at all.
This is a very complex problem and it's very difficult, but with the recent advances that have been in computer vision, things that we thought in the past that were impossible have become possible now. So the first system that we have built is already able to recognize a wide variety of dishes. And even though it's not perfect, it's not as good as a human is, it performs quite well. The type of results that it gives you is quite impressive.
So there are 2 main applications of this. So one is for the public health analysis. So public health means, you can monitor the health of a nation by looking at what's going on social media, and more specifically by looking at the images that are being shared.
And in order for you to take any type of decision, you need to have access to information, and it has to be large scale.
So on the public health, we believe that it'll be possible to have much more effective, much more targeted health campaigns. Then there's the individual health application. So that is you going to a doctor, and if there is some very concise and succinct summary of your lifestyle that the doctor can look at that comes from your social media feed, then we believe that could lead to better diagnosis, could lead to better therapy, and could lead to better interventions through the individual doctors.
Food is a really challenging visual object, and trying to understand it opens a number of challenges that we need to solve. And they are going to have applications in many other aspects of computer vision, not just food.
There's so much data out there that could be used, but so far we cannot because there's this technological barrier sort of. So we don't understand what an image shows. So through our research, we'll be able to untap a whole new universe of data that can be used for health-related analysis.
Recognizing food is a very challenging problem. And it's true that a few years ago, I will also think this is an impossible task to solve. But right now, it's not like that anymore. In the same way that a human does learn about it, even though it's very challenging, a human has no problem in recognizing food, computers will have no problem either. And we are really close to that moment.